Picture this. Me in 1969, 14 years old, very much a comic book collector, and as well as all the slew of related items that went with it and things that actually didn't even go with it. Yeah, I was a nerd of the times. I was a really big nerd at the times. But I made my own spending money by cutting neighborhood lawns, and that was the only way I could afford to do some of the things that I did. Dad and Mom gave me an allowance, what they could, but money was particularly tight at that time. So anyways, in one of my comic books, I ran across this ad, and I don't remember what the comic book was, but it was for Disneykins miniature Disney character figures. And for $6.98 plus 50-cent shipping, I could buy a collection of 38 figures, which included 2 free figures. So for the total of $7.48, which for me was quite a bit of money back then, it was for a lot of kids my age. But I saved up for a few weeks, and then I walked out of the post office on State Street there in Bridgeport, and got a money order and a stamped envelope, addressed it, slipped it in the slot, and then I set my hard-earned money off, and then I waited, and I waited, and I waited. Years turned into decades. But seriously, it didn't take too many years, and I figured that I was not going to get my Disneykin figures. But, you know, I got over it. Life went on. But let's jump ahead now to 2022, this year. Spring, to be exact. It was still chilly out. There was still ice laying on the ground, and the yucky snow you get, you know, towards the end of winter. Anyways, David Gill and I found a total house clean out, and we were told that we could take whatever we wanted to, and boy howdy did we indeed take whatever we wanted to. We found many treasures there, and I've done other videos previous to this that showed some of the other things that we found there. But one of my favorites, though, that I found was lying deep in the dumpster. I found a small vintage looking box. There's no writing on it, nothing to indicate what was inside, so I picked it up and I shook it, and it rattled. So I opened it, and can you guess what was inside of it? Well, if your guess was Disneykins, you are right. There were 23 of the colorful plastic miniatures. So in a way, they had finally arrived to me, though a little bit late. But not all the set, that I had ordered, but I was nonetheless delighted in the pieces that I found in the box. Mark's Toys introduced the Disneykins in 1961. They were manufactured by the injection molding hot plastic process, and these were hand painted very nicely by artists in British Hong Kong. And in fact, a few of these have retained their original little gold sticker that says they were made in Hong Kong. Now, they were quite popular, and Louis Marks Toy Company produced them right up until they quit operations, so from 1961 to 1973, and remaining stock was still being sold at least as late as 1974 in full-color page ads in comic books, like the one I'm showing you right now on one side or the other of me. There were many different sets sold, and they were in colorful boxes, very colorful displays for stores, and the individual figures were sometimes in little boxes that looked like TV sets and had a scene printed in the background, so it was kind of a little shadow box type thing, which would have been really cool. I don't remember having ever had the opportunity to see those. Now, the ones sold by mail, I believe, arrived in little cellophane packets rather than in the colorful boxes. In all, there were over 160 Disneykin characters presented. In fact, it appears that during the 12-year window of production with Marx Toys, nearly every animated character of a film released in that time period was represented in the Disneykins sets. Now, as you look at the following still images, take note of how nicely the miniature figures are, and how nicely they were made, and how nicely they were painted. It was a cheap toy, but it was a quality toy. So let's take a look. Now, I have no plans on selling these, but I did check out the values, and I must say that I'm more than a little bit surprised at what these little figures can bring. Now, here are some of the values. I took 4 or 5 different sources, and I averaged them out. So, the values for these tiny cartoon characters go something like this. Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, $30. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, $70. Yellow with Spots Bambi, $27. Captain Hook, $15. Donald Duck, $20. Pecos Bill and all the rest that I saw were around the $15 price range. So again, these are estimated values which averaged out. Of course, nothing is worth any more than what you can actually get somebody to pay for it. So I don't know if these prices have been realized. They probably have been, though. Probably have been. Curious how things like this work out for you, though. See, I found the figures as well as the Gold Key Jungle Twins comic book with the full page ad the same day in the same dumpster. Now that was pretty cool. And was my decades-long wait worth it? Well, yeah, of course. They were pretty awesome. Mid-century Disney toys from way before the company's abysmal slide into the so-called woke liberalism that is killing Disney today. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Maybe it jogged some memories of your childhood for you. And never give up if you ordered something and it takes decades for it to arrive, because you never know. It'll come to you maybe perhaps some other way, as these did. Love you all very much. God bless you. And I'll see you again real soon.